Folks, it's Idea Friday, and if it's Idea Friday, that means the nervous Di Phillips in now. She telling me, roll it faster. No. We don't operate like that on this show. we got the spotlight memo, the poll question. We got the little break for the people, Facebook, bang, and then we bring in the Ideas woman, PR extraordinaire, businesswoman Di Phillips. Di, always a pleasure to have you in studio.
Always a pleasure to be here, Lester.
Right.
Even though sometimes I think we need to speed up that
I know.
intro part a little bit.
I know how you go.
We have special guests in the studio.
I know you go.
I want them to have some good airtime.
I know you go. See now, what we always have to remind the guests on this show, when you come on this show,
It's Lester's show.
not only that, but this show is not like a 2-hour show. This is a show where you come, you bring the biggest thing you got, the fastest thing you got, and bang, like Nike, just do it.
I know, and that's why I want them to have as much time as possible, because it is only a 1-hour show, and we can't squeeze everything in. But
Di, what you got to remember though, is the people who we have on this show.
How many times do you start a sentence with what the thing you got to remember, Doc?
Yeah, but I'm telling you, but see,
I
you
feel
need.
like I'm at home.
No, but you see, but let me tell you why you need to remember this. Because when guys come on this show, they are difference makers and forward thinkers. They've been doing what they've been doing for a lifetime. And if you try to get everything they know within a show, you're not going to get it.
Oh, I just
you have
want
to
those
get them coming over and over and over.
That's why we have, well, you can't say
Yeah, that's right, that's
because
right.
it's not the right time.
I got you.
But I know what you're going to ask. So,
Right.
Di, you're going to say to me, I said 10 things. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, you can't add nothing to that list.
I do.
I guarantee.
I do.
No, Di, there's no way you can add to this
Yes,
list.
I can.
Go on, let me hear.
Okay. Immigration.
And you go,
Immigration. One of the key ideas with majority rule and independence
Right.
was a program called Bahamianization. Now I know the phones are going to light up,
Right.
and I may never be on the show again, but I think that actually, how can I put this nicely? I understand where it came from to begin with, absolutely. But I think that as we progress as a nation, it is holding us back, because this fear of outsiders makes us so xenophobic that we are actually depriving ourselves of some of the best resources we could have. We're so scared that somebody is going to do something that a Bahamian is not doing.
Right.
And why can we not open our borders more, learn more, trade more expertise, bring in more investment, and grow this economy? Obviously, what we're doing isn't working. We've had a stagnant economy for how many years? What is the rate of unemployment? What is the rate of youth unemployment? What is the rate of young male unemployment? Almost
Right.
30%.
All right.
So tell me that what we're doing is working.
All right. So now immigration on this thing would be under city government, because at the end of the day,
Oh, really? Okay.
yeah, that would fall under city government. Well, in my world.
In your world. Okay. So in Lester's world, immigration is now not national security, it's city government. That works for me. I don't care.
Right. So I mean, so if you're in a city environment, and the city can bring in as many expat residents as they want, I think that's how you should drive an area.
And also, if you use tax incentives, for instance, one of the things that we do absolutely wrong now, and there's somebody in the studio who probably will address this in a minute, but we actually discourage keeping your property up. Because if your property is well maintained and it's at its highest and best use, you're going to attract the highest property tax assessment.
True.
But if it's falling apart, and we all know one building whose roof caved in the last couple of weeks, right in the heart of downtown, across from Government House, the roof is actually caved in.
Which one is that?
But you know what? It's not in good shape, so there isn't much property tax, if any, on that.
All right, so I'm going to give another drum roll. Yeah, folks, this is the only young man in this country who got the title father. You can't have the title father of anything in the Bahamas if you're only over 90. But anyway, this young man, he's got the title father of the National Development Plan, businessman, former cabinet minister, the great Carey. Bro, always a pleasure to have you in studio.
It's great to be here. And I was very amused by the exchange back and forth.
Yeah. No. See, Carey, see a guy like you. I think you probably know more about the government and where we're going next because of your work with the National Development Plan. Yeah. Now, I don't know if you were listening to my list, right? Mm-hmm. But like, you think you could knock any one of them 10 off?
No, I think they're all important. But, my challenge always is we have some of the best ideas on the face of the earth.
Right.
And and many of these ideas have been discussed for so many years. How do we move from ideas to activity to results?
Right. Yeah.
That's the challenge.
I have one suggestion.
What's that?
You said, now how do we improve on the branding, because
Right.
better
Updating
it's
better in the Bahamas
and,
brand.
And there isn't a better line than better.
Oh,
in the
that's
Bahamas.
powerful,
It's-
eh?
But here's how we update it.
How?
We do it specifically, so we tie it to the event. Sports,
Mm-hmm.
better in the Bahamas. Wedding,
Better in the
marriage,
Bahamas.
anniversary,
Everything is better in the Bahamas, yeah.
So you can do it. You could take that. Investment, better in the Bahamas.
Everything
you
is
can
better
play
in the
with that,
Bahamas.
better in the
Well,
Bahamas,
I-
and actually tie it to something specific.
You want to make it infinitely better,
Right.
Go ahead.
indescribably better.
Oh.
Actually, make it better.
You have to deliver on that better in the
Yes,
Bahamas.
that's what I meant.
Right, you see, and
Make
so
it better.
and so that's why I think we have to find. So it's better in the Bahamas is primarily all about the tourists,
Well,
and we need to make it about the society.
yes,
Right.
and Vincent Vanderpool Wallace, who I often quote, I don't know if he's aware of that, but he's the one he said, and he was very unpopular at the time, but he said, we've got to stop saying that because we are over-promising and under-delivering.
Right.
If we're going to
But
use
that's
that,
true.
we've
Yeah, but
got,
no one
we've
agreed.
got-
No one agreed with them at that
Nobody
point.
agreed, but what he did, and it
I
was
agree
not.
with him.
I agree with him in principle. He said we should be saying it's getting better.
No,
in
you
the
see,
Bahamas.
and that was
The problem
that
is
was a huge
nobody
mistake.
wants-
Correct.
nobody
First of all,
wants to hear
even
that.
when he tried that nonsense, I was in Switzerland, and even my foreign friends in Switzerland say, "What the hell you talking about? It's better in the Bahamas." Period. That's an aspirational point,
Right.
and you should just leave it like that.
No, and I think you leave it at that, but you also have to deliver.
You know,
You
true.
You go out there and you promote this product
Right.
and service.
Right.
And when people come to consume this product and service, it falls short.
No
You know,
question
we
about
have
it.
to be able to deliver
On that brand.
on that expectation. Otherwise, it's just a motto.
No, true. And that's why I say we need to find a way to update it, and that's why we have to get people like these PR experts like Diane and the rest of the ideas people to help us think about it as a society.
Yeah, well, I think it's such a good motto. You really can't improve on it except to tie it to the
Right, to
thing
make
that
it
you're
mean
trying-
different things, yeah.
Now, speaking of branding, our other guest in the studio
Yeah,
today,
yeah.
a branding expert. I mean, you mentioned
Let-
the
let-
name,
let-
and
let-
everybody knows.
Let me see this book he bring you. Let me see that. Let me see that book before I introduce him. Let me see this book. No, you can't talk on the show till I introduce you. All right, now here we go. All right. Better homes and garden. Wow, when you making a book like this, wow.
Yeah, you-
Folks, see, this is
The
why.
real-
This is why.
This is the real deal.
Yeah. This is why I like doing this show right here. This is why I like doing this show right
This
here.
is the $2 billion man.
Yeah. See.
Oh yeah.
See, folks, now there are some people in the Bahamas, they operating like on a different level. And this is why I like to remind myself, this show is about difference makers and forward thinkers. And folks, we got a difference maker and we got a forward thinker in the studio today. We've got, I think about him as a real estate extraordinaire, Mario Carey. Mario, welcome to the show, bro.
Well, good morning. Good morning, everybody.
Entrepreneur.
Yeah, it's
morning.
really nice to walk into a room with some really nice people and to hear this dialogue that's ongoing. Yeah, the magazine that you're looking at is Better Homes and Gardens magazine. And I am the first international franchise. And I must say Diane and Kalis were a part of that introduction and bringing the brand to the Bahamas. This magazine, to give you an idea, they print 40 million of these a month.
How
and
much?
every 40 million
In print, because
in
you know
print.
magazines are going down all the time.
They get 100 million visitors to their website, and every ad that you see there costs a minimum of $500,000.
What?
Oh, wow, this guy's making some money.
Yeah. So
Mario,
this-
you don't have an ad in. You just stuck in your postcard.
yeah, I
right?
just stick my insert in, but this is a very powerful marketing brand recognition. You're talking about
Right.
brand,
Right.
and they deem the Better Homes and Gardens real estate as a lifestyle brand. It's 365 days a year. The brand is relative. When you get this magazine, it's all about your home. It's all about your lifestyle. It's all about creating families. It's about decorating. The brand now is in all of the Walmarts in China, and this magazine is printed in Mandarin, so it's really gone big,
It's gone global.
gone global.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's
And you in it.
And I'm a part of it. I'm the first international franchise. Pretty cool for a guy with a little bit of Long Island blood in him, you know.
Interesting. No, Mario, I'm curious about it. First of all, when you decide, can I see the insert?
Tie there in there. Yeah. I think you gave it to.
Yes, I think I gave it to you.
Yeah. When you decide to go in a magazine like Better Homes and Garden, like what are you saying? What are you saying?
Well, I'm saying that our outreach for a product that sort of maybe deemed one of the products that we export is real estate. And in order to reach a global audience, to be in a competitive environment, the brand takes the real estate of the Bahamas to a very global level.
Right.
And it's through this portal that we're able to attract foreign investors, foreign currency, and a lot of those expertise that those persons bring to the country, we benefit from that. Just sort of having them as a part of our lifestyle, the educational knowledge, the input, but mostly, that they're investing in real estate. And, again, I know Di and I have been talking recently about Sol Kerzner and the impact that he's had.
Yeah, no, before you get to Sol, I need to understand what you're saying now. So I'm looking at your green brochure with this, it looks like this look like a aloe tree, and you got two words in it, expect better.
So what I did is I took Better Homes and Gardens.
Right.
I took It's Better in the Bahamas.
Right.
And I created Expect Better for real estate in the Bahamas.
That's powerful. And you obviously you were kind of deliberate with the words expect better and the color green.
And the color green.
So what was the concept behind this green thing?
Well, that is sort of they're mostly generic brand colors, the brand itself,
right.
and it fit right into what we were doing. But we also have a color that's designed for the distinctive collection, and it's sort of a soft gray, and that deals with any properties over $1 million.
Interesting.
So we're able to separate the two.
And so I'm looking at your picture. So once I see expect better, I roll it over. I see expect better for real estate in the Bahamas, and then I got your picture, Mario Carey, CIPS, CHLMS, CRS. Now I ring you up. I see your cell phone number. I ring you up. Bang, bang, bang. Hey, my man, I calling you from New York. Boy, I'm looking at this thing here. Expect better. Now, like, how did that conversation play out from there?
Somebody calling from New York must have had some attraction. They might have come here on holiday, some of their family, and so we try to establish sort of that relationship. What is it you're looking at? And it's all about relationships and trust. So if we get on the phone and we just start asking questions, they want to know, can we buy in the Bahamas? Yes. Are there regulations? If you buy your first residence, no, there are no regulations. There's no requirements for government approval. Can I get financing? Yes, the banks love financing. Is it fee simple ownership? Same ownership as you have in New York? Are there any taxes? We have no capital gains tax, no inheritance tax, no income tax. You pay real property tax, and you'll pay stamp duty and VAT on a sale.
So this would be like a qualifying conversation.
This is what people want to know, and then they want to know, can I buy something that I can rent out when I'm not here? And that takes us to the model of Airbnb or HomeAway.
Right.
They want to know if they can make the income to carry the cost and plus use it. That's another discussion.
Right. But oftentimes we get a lot of local pushback on that idea, and I don't know why locals are pushing back against that idea. I think we should encourage that.
Oh, we need to encourage it. Just imagine if somebody buys a house for $10 million. That's over $1 million in stamp duty going right into the government's pot. How many duties of pots and pans do you need to sell to make $1 million?
Correct. And they're also going to pay their more than likely these people are going to be up to date with their real property tax as well.
Right. So real property tax at the moment for any property, it maximizes at $50,000. So every year they're collecting that, and people are very happy to pay that.
I see, Kayla, were you a part of that? Maximizing $50,000, because I think that's a brilliant idea.
Yeah, just going back to the point you made about people providing pushback,
right?
When you bring an idea like that to the table, and it's because they don't have a fundamental understanding of the economy. We need foreign direct investment. We need foreigners to purchase property in the Bahamas, plain and simple.
Right.
And you could run away from that all you want. The reality is this. You need construction jobs. Well, who do you think will build the homes? Who do you think will buy the homes? Who do you think will provide the insurance, the construction jobs? There is a whole economic system that is built around that.
Around.
We can't, and you can push back all you want. The reality is, if you want
want
unemployment to be 50%, then push back.
especially on real estate. Real estate is the foundation of any wealth building nation. It's just no way around it.
Right.
And Di has heard this quote a lot. According to the National Association of Realtors, every piece of real estate that's sold in the U.S. creates 2 to 3 time full jobs. 2 to 3 full-time
I think
jobs.
it's actually
Interesting.
more than that here because we're more dependent on house staff and people who do things for us because the labor rates are lower here than they are in the U.S. Who was it, the senator who was out mowing his own lawn the other day who was attacked by a neighbor, right? What's his name? Paul.
Yeah,
right?
Rand Paul. Yeah.
Rand Paul.
Rand
So-
Paul is Mr. No. Everything he says, no.
But he didn't say no to mowing his own lawn.
No, see, Nada, you need to make that point again. I always thought, when I was in banking, we always made this point that labor costs in the Bahamas is cheaper than New York, London, Switzerland. So people shouldn't talk nonsense about stuff like that because it's not true.
Well, it depends on what level of labor, but certain levels of labor here are far lower than they are in the
right.
United States.
Correct. It was
And
cheaper to
even
operate
fast
here.
food
It was cheaper to
places.
operate international banking here than it was in Miami, New York, London, Switzerland, or Tokyo.
But wasn't the Bahamas in the list of most expensive cities? I mean,
Of
sorry,
course,
most
the most expensive places.
countries?
Yes, of course. So just like Bermuda, but that don't matter at a certain level.
Well, I think part of it is the cost of land too. If you've got only so much prime land,
Yeah.
you've got so much prized beachfront,
Yeah.
and
Sure.
everybody wants beachfront.
Right.
And as your Thursday co-host started saying years ago, Suzanne Black, she started saying, "But 25 years ago, and God ain't making any more land."
That's right. That's
So,
right. That's why you
so
got to grab
that's
the
it.
air. That's why you got to go up in the.
Well, there is, you're going to hit it. Vertical construction.
Correct, yeah.
When are
Yeah.
we going to sort of come into this realization, especially Nassau, which is a city.
And east of
maybe
East Street, thank you.
East of East Street.
East of East Street.
We need to go
Interesting.
vertical.
Interesting.
You
Yeah.
have
Have
to go vertical.
I just
Yeah.
did a piece on that for a magazine called In Situ, which came out last week, because there are 6 or 7 families that own that property there east of East Street,
Mm-hmm.
and
Now
they're
that's
not,
east of East Street, so that means you're going from East Street towards the bridge.
Right.
Yes,
Right,
towards the
right,
bridge.
right.
So you've got this big gap where it used to be shipping, and when Jackson Burnside did the historic Nassau study,
Right.
trying to create a path for moving forward, the first thing that was determined, he said, was we had to move shipping, commercial shipping, cargo shipping, out of the heart
Right,
of Nassau. We know why it got there in the beginning, because historically that was the harbor, and that was before things came in by plane, and large bulk items still had to come in. You're not going to bring a car in on a plane. So it just grew and grew and grew. We got rid of it. Step number 1 to the revitalization process of the city, the historic
Let me
city of
hear this, let
Nassau.
me hear this, let
and
me hear
then
this.
nothing happened.
Nothing's
it
happened
just went
since then.
down.
And why you think that
deteriorated.
nothing happened? The families, you couldn't get the families together, or what happened?
That property is, the families who own that property
Don't have the vision.
No, I will not insult them at all. Some of them are really, really
Right.
visionary people.
So what you think happened?
They're not in any hurry to sell because they're all well-to-do families from other.
Oh, I got you. So
other
they
avenues.
could sit and wait.
And what has to happen? And the government did turn down a set of plans not that long ago. Maybe Kalis will remember, for vertical construction, and it will take vertical construction to make the numbers work.
Right.
Unless you have 12 or 14 stories there, and you have 1 or 2 towers,
Right.
and you can have green space in between. You'll be
Correct.
able to see
And
more
underground
of the work.
parking.
Yeah.
You can,
Right.
You'll be able
yeah.
to
Underground-
see
Like in
more of the
Miami.
water
Hold
that
on,
you can see
underground
now.
parking?
Well, make instead of a first level, you make the level parking.
Oh,
If
all right.
you go to
Oh, you don't
Miami-
mean underground.
No,
you
not
mean
digging, because
Oh,
it'd be
all right,
underwater.
Right,
yeah.
right. 'Cause I was
Park your
curious.
submarine.
Right,
you know.
right.
No, but you go to Brickell. You look at the Brickell being the second largest financial institution in America, and they're coming back to life through real estate. It's amazing what you see there, and they're all going vertical. They all create this multi-use building, restaurants, parking downstairs, hotel, and then condo living on
It's like
top.
a city in a building.
It is, and,
Right, right.
and that's the model. And they have amenities.
And we should go there because I think the downtown
core.
right. People seem pretty comfortable with that 10-story parking structure.
Yeah, it works. It
Yeah.
works, and it functions well.
Right.
Yeah.
No one's complaining. I mean, people were complaining about when it's going up, but now you look at it, it's not like
It's not an eyesore.
Yeah, it's not hideous,
not
right.
It's not an open parking garage. It's enclosed,
Right.
and it has a good facade.
Well, I'll
And,
tell you how they could make it more beautiful. Not more beautiful. How they could make it a lot prettier than it is. So all they needed to do was to have planter boxes on the outside, like you would see in Charleston and lots of other places, and have some greenery coming
Make
down.
it more
would
green friendly.
soften it.
Yes, you're absolutely
And
correct.
I did talk to them about it during the initial phases of construction. Their argument was they wanted every square inch for parking. I said, but it's on the exterior.
Correct.
No. Anyway,
That sounds like a nice consulting gig for you right there, guy.
Well, I'll take Daniel's ear and discuss that with him. I
Right,
just spoke
right,
to him
right.
this morning, as a matter
Right.
of fact. So.
And now, Mario, before we go to the break, I'm curious. What do you think is the worldwide demand for? So this government, they're going to the $750,000 permanent resident thing for New Providence, right? What do you think is the global demand for that kind of?
I
have a sense of
kind of
it?
didn't think they should do it. That was kind of my opinion.
You wanted to keep it at 500,000,
Right, and I think if 500 was a good number. Studies find that the international consumer is in a very comfortable range between 300 and 600,000.
Right.
That statistically is the number. So maybe if you go to 600, if it's on the high end.
Right.
we asked for that
But
compromise.
yeah,
There
but
were
Right.
a group of us who met.
every
Right.
single study
Mhm.
suggested, empirical evidence
Right.
suggested that 500 was a
Is
sweet
the-
spot.
is
for
the
us.
sweet
That's
spot.
the spot.
Right.
The justification for it, in my estimation, is severely flawed. When our administration tested it and agreed to it, I still fought it. I said it was a bad idea.
So the previous administration wanted to go to 752.
To a million.
Wanted to go to $1 million.
Why? Because they wanted less people to come.
Because we
That
felt
would be the effect. Yes.
we felt that the
It was
Bahamas
very-
is
it
this
was very
premium
clever of you.
destination,
Right.
and people are, 500,000 was just too low.
Too low.
But there was no empirical evidence to support that. It was an opinion.
Right.
We did
So
research.
we didn't have like a bunch of. We had like 2,000 people on the waiting list.
No.
No. The research.
You know where the people are going?
Yeah.
They're going to Florida. Florida
For how
is
much?
the largest destination for foreign direct investment in real estate in the world.
For how much?
Well,
It
What-
has become our
what's the-
competitor.
And it's our
as opposed to
competitor.
the
What's their sweet spot? You know.
300 to 600.
Wow.
300 to 600.
That's
Folks, you listen to Connected with Lester Arcox. We got some difference makers and forward thinkers in this studio. And you know what, folks? This is how I like my show. I like to fight for the mic even on my own show. So we got Kayla Scholl in studio. We got Mario Carey. We got Di Phillips. Back in a moment.
Cancer is smart. It pushes us. We push back, challenging conventional thinking, finding smarter solutions. That's what makes Cancer Treatment Centers of America one of the leaders in precision cancer treatment, using tools like advanced genomic testing and immunotherapy to bring more options to our patients. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We're not just fighting cancer anymore. We're outsmarting it. Visit cancercenter.com/outsmart to learn more.
Double your data with BTC Mobile. When you sign up for a $25 plan, you will receive 12 gigs of data. Or sign up with a $35 data plan and receive 30 gigs of data now until the end of November. All you have to do is dial *205#. Select your plan and experience limitless data with BTC Mobile. Because when you're a part of the BTC family, the possibilities are limitless. BTC Mobile, the bigger, better network.
The Nassau Guardian has delivered news and views that matter since 1844. Now, the Nassau Guardian app is available at your fingertips. Download it at Google Play or the App Store. Get the best in news and commentary from the most trusted newspaper in the country with the Nassau Guardian app.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
What do you mean? Oh, when you nod your head yes, but you wanna say no. What do you mean?
Yeah, folks, that's Simba. You know, Simba often he communicates with me by song. But we got Mario Carey in the studio. Now, Mario, you know what I like about your green brochure?
Tell me.
you've taken hold of the It's Better in the Bahamas brand, and you've made it like yours. You got like expect better. Now, you see, I'm thinking now, like all of us could like grab this brand and make it ours. And, I was just thinking, Kayla's roll them in the opposition right now, right?
Right.
I wonder if they grab all of this It's Better in the Bahamas brand. How would that look in the context of opposition politics?
But it's all social media. The name is there. It's Better in the
Right.
Bahamas has been branded for so long, and people, they know that. So we just hashtag it. We use it in our SEO. We use it in our language.
Now, SEO is search engine.
Search engine optimization. We use it on social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and it's because that brand, It's Better in the Bahamas, is very real, very sustainable, and it has a very strong message. And that's been sustaining our number one industry, tourism, for a long time.
You could imagine. Well, I mean, Kayla's obviously ain't commenting on that opposition thing, right? But that's all right.
I'll pass the message to the politically active fellas.
Right. Hey, you could
hopefully someone listening this morning, right?
Right. Hey, you could imagine It's Better in the Bahamas over the hill. What would that look like?
Oh man, that would be a dream come true.
What color? So you got this green thing, right? I wonder what it would look like. It's better in the Bahamas over the hill. I'd be interested.
And you create a cultural environment.
The City of Nassau revitalization project.
Yes.
And part of
but you see, y'all can't call the City of Nassau. You can't.
No, it's over. It includes over the hill.
It
In fact,
has to include most of the historic properties.
It was focused mainly on over the hill.
I got you. But you can't call Nassau a city unless you got a charter until you got city government. So, we just playing around. We just need to call it like a
whatever the
subdivision.
I think we are moving in that direction.
You think so?
You hear it more and more in conversation. When we started talking about it a couple of years ago, a couple of years ago, Lester, you're almost afraid to mention because nobody wanted to talk about it. But you hear it all the time in conversation.
Di, you won't believe. I was at 2 events last night. And the doorman, I was at Bahamas, and the doorman.
I was there early this morning.
And the doorman roll up to me and tell me about city government. This is next dude. I was in this other place. I'm not going to say what it is. This other dude roll up on me and he says, "Bro, the city government thing, this real."
Yeah, I
these
believe
are
so.
regular people.
I believe so. Now, Mario has, the reason he's here today is he actually has what I thought was a very, very cool idea. We have, since 2013, we've had National Heroes Day. We haven't done much with it, but, bless his heart, Freddie Munnings has tried his darndest.
That's what, Freddie Munnings or Sebastian Campbell?
And Sebastian Campbell, both of them. But we haven't done enough with it. Mario wants to celebrate the life of someone who is not Bahamian born, but has been a huge contributor to the Bahamas.
See, that's what Mario. That's your phone. That's one of those people calling now.
That's not what.
That's Kayla's.
Now, during
this is my office. This is my phone.
During the break, Mario said he gets between 30 and 40 leads from Canada every week, which is amazing.
Now you see, Mario. Let me do some math right here. So how much you say 30? Let me do some math right here. So you look at the industry by yourself.
You do the math.
Yeah, all right. Yeah. Go ahead. Let me work that math.
Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm telling you, 50. How much you say? 30 a day?
30 a week.
30 to 40
30 to 40 leads a week.
35.
That's 1,560 times 500,000. Wow, you know how much it is? That's $780 million. Potentially.
Wow. But in our business is all conversion. Come on now, it ain't that easy, baby. It's a lot of work.
Mario don't sell cheap.
Yeah, I know.
So you go up to $2 million.
Yeah. So but Mario has an idea. He wants to nominate someone who is not Bahamian born for National Heroes Day.
Interesting. Let's hear it.
Well, what happened was I saw the article in the paper. I guess it's a controversial discussion at the moment, where the one and only brand was going to be replaced by Four Seasons. And I, in my mind, said that's sort of the end of a legacy.
So hold on. They're going to remove the one and only brand and call it Four Seasons?
That's what's proposed on the table, and there is some controversy in that.
That's what you call it right there? Retarded.
It's kind of a shocking in development.
One and only?
The one and only. And that's the final of Sol Kerzner's sort of existing as we know it in the Bahamas. And it just sort of... And I started a conversation with Di.
It's the final of his hotel properties. There's still Ocean Club Estates and the residences.
Well, that's all Brookfield. That's all owned by Brookfield.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
Brookfield didn't change the name Atlantis. They still using Atlantis brand.
Right, they have the
Right,
brand,
right.
which is deemed the second largest, second most recognized brand in the tourist industry.
Right.
And-
What is number
What's
one?
number
Disney?
one?
What's number one?
Disney.
See, me not thinking alike. You
Yeah.
be hanging out too much.
And we should have thought of Disney too.
Yeah,
Shame on
correct.
us, right?
Wow.
Spread the shame.
Yeah.
But anyway, so and again, I've often thought about the impact that Sol Kerzner had on us as a country, as a nation,
Yeah.
and again the domino effect when he came in and bought Merv Griffin Resorts, and then what he did to our industry as tourism, as far as professionalism, training, careers, and then what he did to the real estate when he launched the lots at Ocean Club Estates. They all sold in one day.
That was
Yeah.
Right, that's a
Yeah.
brand.
Hey,
and
People
don't-
bought the brand.
And don't forget, let me tell you something. I thought an innovation was the airport as well, or Paradise Island. That was like an innovation. It was short-lived, but I think that was an important innovation.
It was amazing. Then you had Chalks Airline. I mean,
Right.
it was just so much energy.
I used to fly in
and-
on Chalks
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time, and there
I
was no
loved it.
security then.
I know.
My now husband, for 30-some years, used to pull up in the inflatable right on the ramp, pick me up off the plane, and we'd go off to the
What
boat
a
for the
what a life! And see, she didn't stop. She got access now to the thing when, like seaplane. So she go wherever she.
Oh
wanna go.
no! I don't have access to anything. do not name drop, my dear friend. But Sol Kerzner's influence, I remember how controversial it was in the early 1990s because he was going to insist that everybody who worked in the hotel undergo training.
Extensive training.
Extensive training,
Education and training.
To us, it was
Atlantis
a novel
University.
idea because we only had Bahama Host before that,
Yeah, Atlantis
and so
University.
so see, he actually
That's an
had-
idea I would support.
Yeah, I don't imagine you get.
Thank you.
I don't imagine you get a lot of pushback on. I
Good.
doubt you'll get any pushback
And
on.
you
that.
know, do you remember when Donald Trump owned the
Yeah, I
resort for a
remember
short
that. I
while?
remember
So
that. I remember
Trump marches in. I was actually in one of these meetings. Trump marches in, and he is complaining about everything he sees. He sees cracks in the wall, and the paint is falling down there, and there's some upholstery where there are tears in it. And he marches around in true Trump style, and he says, "Oh, I want this fixed and that." And he does and points to everything. And I'll be back in 3 weeks. He comes back in 3 weeks
Was
or
it
whatever
fixed?
it was.
Was it
Goes
fixed?
back then. Not one.
No, who
Not
responds to
one
that kind
thing.
of stuff? Yeah.
Of course not.
Interesting.
So the bullying didn't
The
work.
bullying did not
He
work.
only owned it for a very short time. I'm not sure that the deal was ever even completed. To tell you the truth, I don't know that.
Yeah,
do you know if the
I wonder if he
transaction
flipped
went
it.
through?
Not too
Did he
sure.
flip it? Did he
Yeah.
flip it?
Flipped it. He might have, and that's what he did. He's a real estate guy,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
Flipping is
But
big
we're
in that
not sure
business.
if we can't say if
Yeah.
anybody knows if that transaction ever completed. But it was not long after that Sol Kerzner showed up on the scene, and I think, as you said in the story that I saw, I haven't seen the paper yet, but the
Right.
story that I saw that you
Right.
had written about it said, where others saw cracks in the walls, and Sol Kerzner saw potential.
Opportunity and visionary. Amazing.
I think I'd agree with you. I think that Sol Kerzner would be a national hero.
I think he should definitely be in the discussion, and if you really think about it, if you really dig deep, you can see the benefits that he did do to a country.
He's done wonders for the tourism sector.
Yeah,
The tourism sector. And then from the real estate side, based on his success, we had so much demand for resort development property. We had Mayor Guano on the table.
Yeah, how do you explain one guy could like? I remember before Saul stepped into town, we couldn't give away rooms on Paradise Island.
You just think that how hotels on Cable Beach were selling for $8 million or less for a hotel.
Mm-hmm.
And now you can buy a beachfront property for that.
Can you imagine that?
Just imagine that is the impact if you start to look at the trickle-down effect, the long-term vision, and the impact that he's had.
But Mario, you know what's going on in the world? People have no respect now for $1 million. No respect.
Doesn't get you much, I don't think. You know?
Well,
You're
you
like in
say
a time
people-
warp. Yeah.
People have no respect for $1 million. That fellow or that woman living in Baintown or Grantstown has a whole lot of respect for $1
I
million.
know, it's amazing.
I think we toss these figures around. They just don't seem relevant anymore. You're talking billions of dollars. Who knows what $1 billion is? You want to be able to pay for your grocery bill at the end of the week. You want to be able to make sure that
And
your
everything is
lights
so
are on.
relative. Yeah.
Everything is relative.
Yeah.
And real estate, again, trickles down to that lady in Baintown. You know that. When that house is being built, like Kayla said, or when that hotel is being built, and those persons get the jobs. Wherever they are in the line of support to run a country or run a town. Everybody benefits.
And when you come to Mosef House on Fox Hill Road next to the police station on a Sunday, when we're preparing 16 to 1700 meals for people who may not have another hot meal all week, and 300 of those go right out into the Fox Hill community. The rest of them go out to community churches. It's all through the Bahamas Feeding Network. Yesterday,
that's your boy. That's your boy.
Phil
What's his name?
Smith.
Phil Smith.
Amazing
Phil
what
Smith.
they do. Yes.
He is incredible.
Incredible.
And,
We can take a break. Folks, you're listening to Connected with Lester Arcox. Today's show brought to you by BTC and Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We've got the $780 million man in studio, Mario Carey. And he's proposing Sol Kerzner as a national hero. I think it's a great idea. Di Phillips is in studio. Di, what you proposing?
I agree with Mario on this one. And I propose to the city of Nassau. Oh, no, Lester
No,
Cox.
no, you can have City Nassau. You and Kalis can have that. Kalis, now what you proposing?
I support that.
All right.
I support that idea.
Folks, back in a moment.
Double your data with BTC Mobile. When you sign up for a $25 plan, you will receive 12 gigs of data. Or sign up with a $35 data plan and receive 30 gigs of data now until the end of November. All you have to do is dial *205#. Select your plan and experience limitless data with BTC Mobile. Because when you're a part of the BTC family, the possibilities are limitless. BTC Mobile, the bigger, better network.
Cancer is smart. It pushes us. We push back. Challenging conventional thinking, finding smarter solutions. That's what makes Cancer Treatment Centers of America one of the leaders in precision cancer treatment, using tools like advanced genomic testing and immunotherapy to bring more options to our patients. Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We're not just fighting cancer anymore. We're outsmarting it. Visit cancercenter.com/outsmart to learn more.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
You gotta go and get angry at all of my honesty. You know I try, but I don't do too well with apologies. I hope I don't run out of time.
Yeah, folks, welcome back to Connected. You know, we got Di Phillips in studio. And folks, all of y'all who texted me, blame it on Di Phillips that we're not going to be reading these texts. Yeah, you know why? Because she didn't invite Mario. She doesn't invite him often enough. So if you want him to respond to these texts, you got to wait till he come back again.
You know what I think really successful people have in common? They work for it. So, as we've often said, there seems to be a resentment in success. But Mario, as far as I know, is about as hard a working person in real estate as anyone I have ever met. And I represent a number of different companies.
Thank you,
Or
Di.
my firm represents. Mario, eats, drinks, breathes real estate. And
For 32 years.
32 years over
Wow,
two.
you've been
over-
in the business. So
over
you're an
2
overnight
bil-
success after
over
30
2
years.
bil- Yeah, an overnight success. And over $2 billion in transactions.
What was the name of that young woman who, when you did the opening at the Hilton, the president of?
Sherry Chris.
Yeah,
Yes,
she's
the
interested.
CEO.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Man, you
powerful.
gotta. When you come back again, you gotta let her be on the line while we're doing the show.
Well, Danny Lowe, who works with Mario as an agent, maybe a broker by now, but at any
An
rate,
agent, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Mario helped put him through college so he could learn how to speak Mandarin. He went to school in China, now works with Mario, has several other businesses, including a construction company.
A trucking company.
And a trucking company, because he and Tim Smith and
Right.
another
Young
person,
entrepreneurs,
young
yeah.
entrepreneurs,
Wow.
and they have
Yep.
Easy Haul. So it's you rent the
Interesting.
truck.
Wow.
They don't
Easy
have
Haul,
the-
Easy Haul.
Right,
Yeah.
we need to have them on too.
Right. Yeah, let's make it up. So, are you getting anything out of China? Any real estate transactions coming out of China yet?
We're getting a lot of interest, and we understand the Chinese consumer.
Right.
Like Kayla's mentioned, they are really hot in Florida. The Chinese consumer between Canada and Florida, they're huge. And we have affiliated and aligned ourselves, and we are anticipating that buyer will come to the Bahamas.
Interesting. Now, what I notice is when you look at our two biggest investments, Bahamas and Atlantis, those persons were resident here already. I'm curious to see how we could tap into more of the people who are already resident here, how we could make them bigger investors in our country.
You mean the platform to get that money and to have it well spent? Yeah, central control, central bank control matters, lending policies.
To make it
all of which are under review.
Yeah, to make it don't cost us now. We're not saying anything but exchange control.
He's doing business. Yeah.
Yeah, we're still operating with paper.
Yeah.
Right.
I got an annual report in the mail last week. No, the last week in October. It was mailed May 15th.
The mail system here is a joke. It doesn't. I don't know if it exists anymore, really.
But I would just like to take one moment because I know we're about to
we
close and
gotta
express condolences to Mario, who recently lost his brother, and I think you lost your mother
in February, and aunt in September, and my brother, who was a dear friend of Kayla's, on Friday, a week gone.
15 years, most Sundays.
Yeah,
wow.
These guys are huge
15.
boating.
15 years.
Yeah, just amazing.
Fishing, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Sorry to hear it, Mario.
Thank you very much for that shout out, Di.
Folks, today's show brought to you by BTC and Cancer Treatment Centers of America. We had Di Phillips and Cedar. Di, always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Mario, Carey, bro, don't be a stranger.
I will not, and good to see you again.
Hey, Kayla's, bro, always a pleasure, man.
Always good to be here.
Tell your boy David Kasai said hello, man. And
yeah,
I think he may be listening.
We need to get him in studio.
I would like to be here for that one.
Yeah, we all would like to be here for that one.
Yeah, of course, Lester wouldn't be able to get on there.
Fight for that mic, Lester. Fight for that mic.
You got to fight for the mic.
I love that.
Folks, have a great weekend. Carlton Smith is up next.
Search for a leader, but the leader was